After consuming everyone's and their mom's video about the content of Season 1, it dawned on me that Season 1 is solving an issue that doesn't exist. The classic Blizzard move. Hey everyone, Thyworm here with my thoughts on Diablo 4 Season 1. The focus is not the content of Season 1, but my thoughts and a bit of context around that content. For more ARPG opinion pieces and reviews, feel free to like and subscribe, I appreciate it. So let's start with the live stream itself. I watched it, most of it at least, and I'm aware this has been the format to relay information to the public, but damn is this live stream a drag to listen to and get information out of. Bad jokes, although given Blizzard's recent history not unexpected, long-winded sections about nothing, Diablo Immortal that no D4 player cares about, no structure to the whole thing at all. This livestream setup is a disaster if you ask me. Then, content, there's not much there, it's kinda meh. It's about expectations, and I suppose there are two ways to look at this. The first is that you could make the argument that Season 1 should be a banger because it sets the tone for the future, right? That's clearly an assumption, but the argument has some merit at least. And if this is what seasons will be like, yeah, not too sure, right? The other side of the coin is that it is understandable Season 1 is sort of lackluster, at least in my opinion, because it's released only a few weeks after the official launch of the base game. Likely, a final build of the expansion was completed 1 or 2 weeks ago, meaning that a lot of feedback since launch won't make it in, and there's simply no time for fundamental changes based on that feedback. The devs deem it too high a risk, I think, to add something fundamental that could break other features in the season. An example would be a new world tier or something like that, which you just can't add in a week or two. I think people understand that, or at least I do. With this out of the way, let's talk about the seasonal content. Season 1 can be broken down in only a few features. The main attraction is malignant monsters. Sometimes a rare enemy you encounter is corrupted, and after killing it, it drops a heart. This can already happen at level 1. You can cage the heart with an item you acquire after completing the new storyline in this season and kill the seasonal boss, Varshan the Consumed. After caging the heart, you'll have to kill that same monster again to retrieve the heart. The Malignant heart is basically a powerful gem you can socket in your jewelry. It's also possible to disenchant the hearts into fairy dust and create new hearts out of that, allowing some sort of target farming. That is all there is to it. That is the whole seasonal mechanic. It seems to me at first glance, and after thinking about this for a little bit, there could be quite a few potential issues at play. Number 1, the number of corrupted monsters. Encountering rares is already, rare. And then they have a chance to be corrupted, which is the only way to trigger the mechanic. And if that's not a significant chance, you might simply be playing the base game for the vast majority of your playthrough. The counter argument here is that there are new dungeon types, malignant tunnels, with more, hopefully a lot, of corrupted monsters in there. The argument stands though. If we don't encounter these corrupted monsters often enough, there's really no seasonal mechanic to speak of. 2. There are only 32 malignant hearts across 4 categories. They scale with item level and such, but that is 5 or 6 per class plus a few generic ones. That's not a whole lot of customization. My main concern here is that you're playing a build where the Malignant heart just isn't an upgrade, really, and once again you're playing the base game, or you just don't find the one you're looking for. Hopefully the target farming helps in that regard. 3. The devs talked quite a bit about the sockets and different colors that you need and such. And I'm not convinced it's really required. To make sure you have gear with the correct socket color for the correct Malignant heart color, unless you can customize the color somehow, which I don't think is possible. I don't think they've talked about this at least. This is limiting players more. And for what reason exactly? You're already going to be hard-pressed to spend a small fortune on getting good jewelry. Do we really need another gambling element in acquiring that gear in the form of socket colors? Time will tell, but I'm not super thrilled about this. Besides the reservations I have, I feel the actual mechanic, even if it works flawlessly, adds not that much, to be honest. Some builds will likely be bonkers, sure, this will increase build variety, completely true. And that's likely also true for another feature this season, or well, feature, but we're also getting 6 uniques and 7 aspects. So it's fair to say that this season is likely to bring some build variety and likely to bring completely broken new builds. Plus, they're going to do a big balance pass across the board, so what is strong now could be nerfed and what sucks now could be good. Looking at you, minions. But, ladies and gentlemen, here's where we get to the title of the video. Is build diversity an actual issue in Diablo 4? I'm not hearing too many people complain about build diversity. This game is only a few weeks old. There are so many builds to try out still. This season seems to solve an issue that doesn't really exist. A classic Blizzard move, you could argue. The reason I'm not playing anymore is not build diversity or loot, although I've heard some complaints about loot and that is boring. For me, the main reason I'm not playing right now is because I think the endgame is boring. The dungeons are repetitive, the progression is super slow after level 70, and there's no real reason to grind it out. No goal to strive towards really, except the super overtuned Uber Lilith, which almost no one is going to beat. The game lacks meaningful progression in that endgame area, and 3 sockets on jewelry pieces, I just don't see it filling that gap. So unless you're interested in the seasonal journey or battle pass, which are basically just checklists, and you feel the same as me about build diversity, this season may not offer all that much. And I think checklist content is also content, for the record. So I won't be playing then? Nah, I will be playing, but with tempered expectations. I paid for the battle pass after all, and I have a small part of completionism in me, so I'm going to try and complete that as long as I'm having fun. Apparently the battle pass is designed in such a way it's not crazy difficult to complete. I think the transmog system in Diablo 4 is actually amazing, so I'm sort of excited to unlock more cosmetics. Never thought I'd be saying that, but there you go. I'm also not against a full reset in the new season. It could be interesting to see where the meta goes, although I'm going to make my own builds for sure. I've had a much better time not following any guides. I'd really love to play a minion build from level 1 and have fun. Right now, that's completely impossible with the Necromancer, and I think that's wrong. So I have faith in that massive balancing pass they're going to do. Finally, only a week after the season starts, ExileCon begins. I'm gonna be fanboying over that, while grinding nightmare dungeons possibly. And then PoE 3.22 releases, dwarfing D4's first season. Which isn't even criticism, it's just a harsh reality right now. But there's hope. In that regard, I'm following Asmongold's lead, who is saying he's more interested in Season 4 and the trajectory Blizzard takes than in this initial Season 1, and I couldn't agree more. We're getting patch notes on the 18th, I'll likely not be covering that, there are so many content creators that are going to do a much better job than me. If there's more interesting news I can give my opinion on in D4, expect another video, and the season itself launches the 20th. For now, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you have any more questions or comments, please post them below, I will try to reply. Thanks for watching and making it to the end. Love you all, see you soon, bye.